Hey, what's up guys? Tony here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you guys my thoughts about the in-game DLC. Okay, so what I've tried to do in the past is I've tried to give you guys sort of an objective view of the DLCs whenever they come out, and not do like a knee-jerk reactionary video, like a first impressions video. I do try to be as objective as possible. And so I couldn't, in the retro bang or shoot C bang video where we looked at Battlefield 3 in retrospect, I couldn't rate the in-game DLC because I hadn't played it. I played it like 2 hours or something like that, and I didn't play all the game modes. Besides, I played like Conquest one match, and then I played Air Superiority and a handful of TDM. And so I didn't feel that I had put enough time in to be able to sit back and review it. But my initial impressions were like, okay, well, I see some things, but I don't want to go on those without playing some rest of the game mode, especially Capture the Flag, because that's the newest addition to the Battlefield franchise. So let's get started. I think the first thing to do is to start out with the map size. The one thing that I did notice right away, because I had played a couple of games of Conquest, is the maps are actually really big. And for me, I'm not much of a fan of big maps. I mean, the maps that I absolutely do not like in Battlefield 3 are Wake Island. And, there's some maps I just don't really like Donovan Peak, for whatever reason, I just don't like it. But Wake Island is a map that I just don't like because especially on Conquest, and I'm referring to Conquest right now. So on Conquest, I don't like Wake Island because it's just too damn big for console. And that goes for the Armored Kill maps. I like the Armored Kill maps because all I do is fly. I don't play on the ground. I don't touch tanks. I just fly jets, and it's great because I've got shit to shoot out in the air, and that's fine. But as far as a ground pound map, I don't like the Armored Kill maps. They're just too big. And these maps now are just too big for console. They're 5 objectives for Conquest, and it's just really maddening to have 24 players fighting over 5 different objectives with air vehicles, anti-air vehicles, motorbikes, you name it, it's in there. And it's just, it really is like, okay, who's actually going to be playing the objective now? The hardest part that I have is when you start taking 2, 3, 4 guys, like in a little bird, and then they're off flying to one of the 5 objectives, and you find yourself on the ground with nobody to help you. And you've got tanks and shit rolling in. So for me, the map sizes are way too big, and that's just a concern that I've had, that I think a lot of people have with console gaming now. And I think for the most part, that's going to be resolved with Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4, because it's supposed to be able to support larger server sizes, larger player counts in the servers. So there is that. There's hope around the corner for us console gamers, but right now, when they design these maps, they probably do design them, I shouldn't say probably, they do design them with PC involved in mind, with 64-man and 32-man servers, but 24 is just, it's not big enough. It's just, that's really been a complaint that I've had for, like I said, the Armored Kill DLC for Conquest, and now in-game DLC for Conquest. Rush is not bad. I don't really mind it for Rush because it allows you to be a little bit more tactical. You can flank, you can move, you've got a little bit more ability with these bigger maps. So for Rush, I don't really mind it so much, but it's really Conquest, and honestly, that's the game mode that I play the most is Conquest, and that's where I see the map size as being just a big problem. The color palette, I actually like the color palette. It reminds me a lot of Bad Company 2 with some of these, autumn colors and stuff. And the snow map, I can't remember what it's called, but Wes likes to call it the Alaskan Pipeline, so that's kind of what I've got it in my head as the Alaskan Pipeline. I do like that. It's really cool to have a snow map in there. I always thought it'd be cool to see it snowing, but we've got what we've got. The problem is that I kind of was expecting something a little bit different, to be honest. I don't know why I had it in my head that we were going to get more urban combat, more intense urban combat, something between like an Aftermath and a Close Quarters. And so for whatever reason, that's what I had in mind. And when they came out with these very expansive maps, these big maps, I was not let down because it's nice. They're beautiful maps. They look great. The colors looks nice. The problem that I have with it is just that they're too much like Bad Company 2, where I look at it and go like, well, these feel like they've been done before, and so it just doesn't feel new and fresh and original. And I guess that's really the only complaint that I have about it, because I think they look great. They're fun, fantastic looking maps. They just feel like recycled, I guess, is the only way I could put that. And I'm kind of interested to find out how you guys feel about that as well. The game modes, we've got the traditional game modes, of course. You know, you get Rush, TDM, Capture the Flag, or not Capture the Flag, Conquest. Those are, you know, the original game modes, normal ones. And those are fun. Like I said, Conquest for me, I've got a problem just because the maps are really big, really big, and there's 5 objectives. And it leads to, I don't know what it was. I think I calculated out an armored kill, and I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it ends up being like, you know, people, if all the vehicles are intact or with people in them, it leads two people per objective to defend or whatever. It's not big. It's about half the size of what it would be for a 3 objective conquest mode. So having the ability to change those would be great. But the Capture the Flag and Air Superiority mode are the additions to this DLC. Now I'll go with Capture the Flag. Because I am, you know, I mean, I've been playing Battlefield since, you know, Battlefield 1942, when the first Battlefield game. So I've been an off and on Battlefield player, but when I got really into multiplayer gaming, like really into it, it was Call of Duty, and you guys know that. And so for me, Capture the Flag has a very like urban, you know, close quarters-esque kind of feel to it. So when there was this big, massive vehicles and a Battlefield version of Capture the Flag, that's not a problem at all. I don't really think that's a problem. The execution, and maybe it's not really DICE's fault. It's not DICE's fault. It's just the player's fault, you know, because inevitably what happens in any Capture the Flag, be that Call of Duty or now Battlefield 3, is people capture the flag, they'll get the 2 or I think it's 6 to win, so they'll get 4 or 5, and then they're going to go steal the flag, and then they're just going to kill horde. They're going to run them timeout, and they're just going to do all the killing, and one guy's just going to hold the flag in their base. And that's what I've seen. I've just seen guys, they'll take flags from a weak team, and then they're just going to rape. And they're going to keep their flag. One guy's going to sit in their spawn with the flag, and you can't go get it, because every time you go get it, you're just going to get murdered, because they're in their spawn. So that's the one negative thing I see about it. I played a little bit of it, but it was enough for me to get turned off by it, because it was just like, you know, one team just got owned, the other team just decided to rape, you know, and so I was like, okay, this sucks, you know. There's no way around it. It just sucks. You know, maybe if you have a good team with good strategy and you're not afraid to put the game away and not worry about stats padding, because that's what Capture the Flag ends up being in Call of Duty, and that's what I've noticed it tends to be in Battlefield 3. It's just stats padding. Let's go around and, you know, kill whore after we've got our 4 or 5 flags that we need, you know, just one to win, and we'll just ride out the rest of the time. And so that's what it ends up being. So that, unfortunately for me, that's like, I'm kind of being hard on it, but at the same time, I'm hard on Capture the Flag in general, because it turns into this douchebag sort of game mode in whatever platform it's played on. Now, Air Superiority mode is the mode that I was looking forward to, and I think for the most part it's delivered. The space for me, the whole space is nice. It's very wide horizontally. Vertically, I feel like an NBA basketball player walking through like a hospital. And if you've ever been through a hospital, the ceilings are like 6'5" at the most. For whatever reason, they're really short. And so Air Superiority mode is really short. It's 500 meters or whatever the altitude is, and whatever, I'll say feet because I'm used to feet. So it's 500 feet, and that's it. You get up to that 500-foot mark, and you hit the ceiling, and you stalled, and you're going to take a few minutes to come back down if you know how to get down quickly. And so for jets, the expectation was to have these really tall vertical maps so you could have some room to maneuver without the necessary horizontal movement. And unfortunately, we've got lots of horizontal room to maneuver and not so much vertical room. So I wish it was flipped. I don't care how wide the map is. I want to know how tall I can go, because that's really what matters. Because the maps used to go, I think, 900 feet. I think 1,000 feet was the ceiling. Very rarely would I get up there, but it would have been nice to see something around 900 feet, 1,000 feet for more room to maneuver. Because right now, as you guys know who have played it, it's a lot of either friendly jet crashing, jet ramming, or enemy jet ramming, but there's a lot of it going on because you just can't go. You're just sort of confined in this one space. But that being said, it's still fun. I love that game mode. And there was gosh, it was like almost an hour-long gameplay I recorded on Air Superiority mode, and I went like 45 and 25 or something like that. One guy went 85 and 15. So if you're not a flyer
It's a great place to go play and get all your unlocks for jets if you're having a hard time. And here is the kicker. After playing air superiority mode, I am not really interested in flying in the vanilla maps or any other like armored kill maps, because now it's just 2-on-2 dogfights. You know, it just feels so slow and bland. You're just like, where's the other 10 aircraft? Like the furball, as frustrating as the game can be, the excitement of the heart-pounding excitement of just dogfighting, quick dogfighting, that's what's really, really exciting about the game mode. And I really wish they would expand upon it, because they've struck something here, and I don't think just because it's Battlefield, and there's a lot of other better like flight simulators out there, I don't think they're going to be able to capitalize on it, but they did something really well with this DLC when it comes to air superiority mode. I mean, it's fantastic. So if you haven't tried it out, you've been afraid to try it out, give it a try. It's not as scary as you might think. Phoenix and Akuma, who are not really good jet pilots, they were playing with me. You know, Phoenix got her first 3 jet kills ever. Akuma, I think, scored like 5 kills. But Phoenix made it her mission to just cap objectives. And she did. And she was like the 3rd or 4th highest scoring person on the team from just capping objectives by herself and shooting down 3 planes. So it's a great place to go and level up your planes and get your service stars. So don't be afraid of the game mode. Try it out and see if you like it. So anyways, guys, overall, I think the DLC, I don't think it's a bad DLC. I don't think it's as bad as Armored Kill, because Armored Kill was just an utter failure on console, but I don't think it's going to be as successful as the other DLCs that have come out already, just because of the fact that the maps are a little larger than I think a lot of people like. And unless you're just a die-hard capture the flag person, I don't know if it's something that you're going to come back to. But air superiority mode is going to be that mode that it'll be the one that gets populated for probably the longest time after this game, you know, after Battlefield 4 comes out. Air superiority mode, unless they come out with it in Battlefield 4. If they have an air superiority mode in Battlefield 4, then Battlefield 3 is going to be dead when Battlefield 4 comes out. So if you're on the fence about buying it, if you don't have it, I can't really make that call for you. If you like jets, that might be the selling point. I don't know. It's a tough call. I can't really say whether or not I would buy it just because of the air superiority mode. That's just the way I am. If I was in this position where I didn't know if I was going to buy it or not. But I'm going to leave it up to the people in the comment section to sort of voice your opinions. Do you like the game? Do you like the DLC? Were you unhappy with it? Were you expecting something different? Or was it everything you'd hope for and more? Because for me, when it comes to the jets, it's everything I hoped for and more. But when it comes to the actual ground play, the infantry gameplay, and the vehicles, you know, it's pretty much more the same. It's a pretty standard Battlefield 3 now that what we have throughout the last year and a half. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll talk to you guys later.